My phone lit up with a message from my girlfriend. I found someone else. I want nothing more to do with you. I stared at it for a second, then typed back, as you wish. After hitting send, I went straight to work shutting down every credit card she had access to and cutting off the money that kept her lifestyle afloat. 7 days later, I had her attorney, blowing up my inbox in a panic. But before I get into that mess, let me just say this. This is our brand new channel, and we're putting in the hours to bring you the most unbelievable stories out there. If you're enjoying it so far, hit that subscribe button and help us get to 1,000 subscribers. Now let's get into it. I'm 31 years old, a pretty straightforward guy on the outside. I run a logistics consulting firm I built from scratch back in my mid-20s with nothing but a used laptop and enough anxiety to power a small city. Those first years? Brutal. I was clocking 80-hour weeks, living on instant noodles, and throwing every dollar I made right back into the business. Then, 2 years ago, things started to turn around. Landed one big contract, then another, and suddenly the grind was paying off. Before long, my little niche company was making serious money. For the first time in my life, I wasn't just surviving, I was comfortable. And for the last 3 years, that comfort included my girlfriend, Kayla. She's 28, smart, and when I met her, she was working the front desk at a small office, talking about her dream of becoming a fine arts curator. She had the drive, but no connections, no cash to make it happen. I'll be honest, I fell for her fast. My life had been nothing but work, and she was this burst of color I didn't know I needed. I wanted to see her win, and now that I could actually afford to help, I told her, quit the job you hate, focus on your art history degree, take those unpaid internships, meet the right people, I'll handle the bills. I thought we were partners, building something together, and I meant it. I paid for her stylish, art-inspired downtown apartment, $3,500 a month. I co-signed the lease on her Audi A5, $800 a month. Her clothes, organic groceries, and endless art supplies, all covered. I even gave her 2 of my credit cards as an authorized user. I never looked at the statements. My work is all about managing details for other people, but in my personal life, I just wanted to trust her. Our 3rd anniversary rolled around on a Tuesday. I'd made reservations at a place she'd been hinting about for months, picked out a simple sapphire necklace that I knew she'd love, and got home early to surprise her. But the apartment was empty. At 7:15 p.m., my phone buzzed with that message, the one that ended everything. I found someone else. I want nothing more to do with you. 7 words. That was all I got after 3 years of funding her entire existence. I sat there staring at the screen, feeling like someone had sucker punched me. For a minute, I almost fired back a string of desperate questions. Why? Who? What did I do? But then something shifted. A weird, icy calm set in. The bluntness of nothing more to do with you left no room for misinterpretation. She'd drawn her line, and maybe in a twisted way that clarity was a gift. So, I sent back just 3 words. Me as you wish. Then I put my phone on silent. The business side of my brain kicked in like a switch had been flipped. The situation was simple. Personal arrangement terminated. Non-binding. Solution. Cut every financial connection. First stop, the bank. I logged in, removed her as an authorized user on both cards. The system confirmed it was instant. Next, the car lease. My name was on it too, so I couldn't cancel it that second, but the next payment was due in a week. I killed the autopay. Her apartment, lease in my name. I dug up the contract. 60 days notice plus a 2-month rent penalty to break it. Annoying but clean. I fired off a formal email to the property manager and CC'd my personal account so I'd have a time-stamped record. Then came the little luxuries: Netflix, Hulu, Spotify, her fancy gym, the overpriced meal kits. One by one, I logged in, changed passwords, and deleted her access. Finally, her phone line. She was on my family plan, but not for long. I started the removal process. In 45 minutes, it was done. I felt nothing, no rage, no grief, just an empty sort of stillness. I left the necklace on the counter, packed a bag, and crashed at my brother Martin's place. If she came back for her stuff, I didn't want to be anywhere near it. The rest of the week was quiet. Too quiet. I figured she was busy moving on with someone else. But that Friday afternoon, her card must have finally bounced somewhere important, because the texts started rolling in. First sweet, then puzzled, then furious. I read them all without replying. And then, this morning, a new message popped up. Not from her. but from a downtown law firm. Subject line, urgent regarding Ethan Cole. Apparently, one of their partners was representing Ms. Vance and needed to speak to me immediately about my malicious and abrupt cessation of established financial support. Turns out, my short as you wish wasn't the ending she had in mind. Update 1. Hey folks. First off, thank you. The comments on my original post really helped me keep my head on straight. This past week has been a crash course in just how bold some people can be. Per your advice, I went ahead and got myself a lawyer. My dad's been using a guy named Mr. Harlow for his business contracts for years. The man's sharp, straight to the point, and doesn't sugarcoat a thing. After I laid out the whole mess, he peered at me over the rim of his glasses and said, "Well, son, looks like you've run into a brand new breed of predator." He went through the email from Marissa's attorney, a guy named Mr. Keaton, and almost laughed out loud at the phrase malicious cessation. According to Mr. Harlow, that's the legal equivalent of a toddler having a meltdown and throwing their toys. Sounds scary, he said, but there's no legal bite behind it. Philip fired back a neat little reply. It stated, in no uncertain terms, that our clients were never married, shared no assets, and that the relationship, along with any voluntary gifts connected to it, was ended by Ms. Vance herself. He wrapped it up by saying all further communication needed to go through him. I thought that would be the end of it. Instead of some ridiculous $75,000 demand, though, they came up with something more slippery. Mr. Keaton sent over a formal letter suggesting what he called a confidential transitional support settlement. The thing was stuffed with flowery nonsense about Marissa's significant professional and emotional investment in the relationship, and how my pulling the plug had supposedly set her career back and caused her severe emotional distress. The pitch? Keep paying her rent and car for 6 months, plus throw in a $20,000 parting sum to avoid a long public court battle. Yeah, it was a shakedown, plain and simple. Philip told me to ignore it completely. Let them burn through their own money, he said. If a lawyer actually files a case over this, they're basically begging for a malpractice claim. And then came the real entertainment when the fallout started hitting her. On Saturday, the property manager for her old apartment, Carol, called me in a mild panic. Kayla had shown up with her new guy, Travis, demanding a key. Carol refused, since Kayla wasn't on the lease anymore. Apparently, Kayla made a huge scene about her life's work being trapped inside. Travis tried to flex, telling Carol, "We can make this very difficult for you." Carol, who I'm convinced has dealt with every flavor of drama over the years, just pointed at the no trespassing sign and told him to give it a read. Then Kayla bypassed the lawyers entirely and texted me directly. "You can't just throw me out. My internship portfolio is in there. I've got a review next week. Oh, and the Audi dealership called, the payment bounced. That car is co-signed, so you're wrecking your own credit too. Are you stupid? Nice try. My credit's bulletproof, and one late payment I'm already planning to cover isn't gonna scratch it." Next came, "Travis is a good man. He's a real estate developer, and he can't believe how childish you're being. He says you're playing a game you can't win." I didn't reply, just screenshotted the whole thing and sent it to Philip. He was downright giddy. Direct contact after counsel is involved. She's the gift that keeps on giving. Then came the lowest blow yet. A mutual acquaintance sent me a screenshot from Marissa's private Instagram story. A tear-streaked selfie captioned, "Finally escaping a financially abusive and controlling relationship. The road ahead is terrifying, but I'm grateful for the people showing me what real support looks like. #survivor. So now, because I stopped paying for her entire lifestyle after she left me for someone else, I'm an abuser." Philip's already drafting a cease and desist for slander. We've set up a time for her to collect her things. I'm paying for 2 neutral movers, and her lawyer has to be there. This time we've got an itemized inventory. Honestly, she seemed to think she could just swap me out like a brand of cooking oil, keep all the perks just with a different guy supplying them. The audacity is wild. Update 2. The story took a turn I didn't see coming. The move out was a disaster, though not in the way I had imagined, and her little survivor stunt online is starting to backfire in ways I didn't even have to engineer. We scheduled the move for Saturday morning. I had the movers ready. Philip had the inventory list printed, strictly personal effects, and Mr. Keaton was supposed to supervise at 10 a.m. sharp. At 9:45, one of the movers called me. "Sir, there's a lady and a man here. They say their lawyer's running late and want to get started." My stomach dropped. I immediately rang Philip, who told me to have the movers hold the line until he arrived. Too late, trying to be nice, they'd already let Kayla and Travis into the building lobby. Philip phoned Bobby, who claimed he was stuck in traffic and would be half an hour late. Sure. More like they were trying to pull a fast one. I told the movers to only let her take what was on the list. For the next 30 minutes, Kayla and Travis tried every angle. First, they tried to bluff the movers, saying they were part of Travis's crew. When that didn't work, Kayla turned on the waterworks, claiming the movers were intimidating her. The boiling point came over the furniture. Kayla swore up and down that the custom bookshelf, ergonomic desk, memory foam mattress, and 65-inch OLED TV were gifts and therefore hers. Then she and Travis actually tried to haul the TV out themselves. This was the moment the movers I'd hired really proved their worth. The lead guy, big, broad-shouldered, calm as stone, stepped right in front of them and said, "Folks, that's not on my inventory list of approved personal items. Put it down." Travis puffed up like a rooster. "Who are you to tell us what we can take?" The mover didn't even blink. "I'm the guy this man hired to make sure nothing gets stolen from his property. Put it down or my next call is to the police." That's when Mr. Harlow walked in. He didn't shout, didn't posture, just looked from Kayla to Travis to the TV they were holding. Then he calmly pulled out receipts for every single piece of furniture, each one with my name printed as the buyer. He told Kayla that, since her lawyer wasn't there, trying to remove that property was a breach of their agreement. If they didn't stick to the boxed items on the list, he'd have no problem filing a police report for attempted grand larceny. They didn't have a comeback. Angry and beaten, they grabbed her boxes and stormed out. What they did leave was a disaster: scuffed walls, trash on the floor. The landlord sent me a $1,200 bill for damages. Philip wasted no time forwarding that invoice, along with the mover's written incident report, straight to Mr. Keaton. And here's where the sweetest part came in, the payback I didn't even have to plan. Remember her #Survivor post? Kayla had been working as an unpaid intern at a small but prestigious art gallery. The local art scene here is tiny, and word travels faster than you can imagine. One of the junior curators, a woman named Brianna, who I'd met a couple times, saw that post. She knew me just enough to recognize that financial abuser was pure fiction, and it made her sick. All she did was show the post to another colleague. That was it. From there, the story spread on its own. Marissa Cole, the intern living like a millionaire with no job, had publicly trashed the man who'd bankrolled her entire lifestyle, right after leaving him for a real estate agent. In the court of public opinion, she didn't look like a survivor. She looked selfish, entitled, and toxic. The gallery director, who cares about reputation more than anything, quietly told Kayla the internship was not a good fit going forward. Her losses weren't just financial now, they were social, and all I'd done was nothing. Final update. I'm writing this last post for one reason: to set the record straight. The original story traveled further than I expected, and I want the truth out there before I close the book for good. After the last update, things went quiet. I donated every piece of furniture from that apartment to a local charity that helps families rebuild their lives. Watching it all get loaded onto the truck felt like the final cleanse. I paid the lease break penalty, covered the last utility bills, and just like that, the last threads between us snapped. Life got simple again: work, the gym, dinners with my brother. The anger faded. All that was left was a scar and a hard-earned lesson. The conclusion came from two places. First, from Philip. After we sent the damage bill and incident report to Mr. Keaton, he came back with one last huffy letter. Philip's reply was short and lethal. A formal notice that any lawsuit attempt would be met with a counterclaim covering the damages, the mover's fees, our legal costs, and a separate civil suit for defamation over her social media posts. He closed with, "We have all the receipts. Do you?" Silence. They caved. That was the end. The second part came out of nowhere, from Brianna at the gallery. She emailed me a couple weeks ago. "Hey, hope you're doing all right. Things got messy here after Kayla left. Thought you might want to see this. Looks like her dad's setting the record straight." Attached was a link to a public Facebook post by Marissa's father. For a second, my heart sank. I thought something terrible had happened, but no. It was a long, emotional post. He never mentioned my name, but he wrote about his daughter leaving a good, stable man who'd supported her dreams for a guy with a shiny, fake lifestyle. Turns out, Travis wasn't a real estate developer at all. Just a commission-based agent living on debt. His income was unstable, and the pressure of trying to keep Kayla in the lifestyle she'd gotten used to crushed them. The chaos she brought, including the story about being fired from her internship for unprofessional conduct, made its way to Travis's colleagues. In a business built entirely on reputation, being tied to messy drama was career poison. His sales dropped. Money got tight. They had a massive blowout. Kayla moved back home. The car was repossessed. She had no job, no internship, no savings, and most of her real friends had drifted away. The fine arts curator dream? Gone. Her dad ended his post with, "She had a ladder to her dreams, and chose to jump off it for a snake." The fallout was complete and entirely self-inflicted. Her lies and entitlement wrecked her professional reputation. Internship gone. Future in the local art world dead. Her developer boyfriend couldn't afford her. Relationship collapsed. Her legal threats and stunt with the movers backfired. She got nothing but a bill and the threat of a countersuit. Do I feel triumphant? No. There's no thrill in it. Just a steady, quiet sense that the balance was restored. Justice doesn't strike like lightning. It's more like gravity. I replied to Brianna, thanked her for reaching out, and we had a short, friendly exchange. It reminded me that not everyone is out to take. Now, my life is mine again. I'm putting my energy into my business, my health, and myself. I've learned to trust more slowly, to verify, and to support someone's dreams without becoming the foundation they can kick away. I never heard from Kayla or Travis again. I don't know what they're doing now, and finally, I truly don't care. And that's the end of it.